Hey there, I'm Scott Sery. I'm the founder of Know to Grow. It's where I show you how you can go from having no idea how to make money without a boss to growing that idea, and ultimately you can live life however you want to. Now, I talk a lot about overcoming debt in these videos. The biggest reason is it's simply because debt has a stranglehold on a lot of people around the world. And there are a lot of big names in finance that look at debt as being the most evil thing in the world and that it should be avoided at all costs. There is, however, a difference. There's a method I'll show you how you can use debt to make more money instead of costing you money. What I'm talking about is called using leverage debt instead of what we commonly know as consumer debt. First, I'm going to go into just a short definition. Consumer debt is anything that is costing you money. Most of the time we refer to things like credit cards, auto loans, things like that are consumer debt. You're spending money on interest on a non-appreciable asset. That is, it's an asset that doesn't go up in value over time. You can loosely lump a mortgage or student loans into this category as well, but ideally, your house will increase in value over time, minimizing or even negating the amount of money you spent on interest. And that student loan will hopefully help you land a job that pays incredibly well. It's an opportunity that you otherwise would not have had. But there's another kind of debt that's called leverage debt. And this debt can actually help you make more money by going into debt than if you had stayed debt-free. Let me show you how that works. Suppose you have $100,000 in cash, and there's a rental property that you can buy for $100,000. For the sake of simplicity, we're going to dumb things down quite a bit. Just keep up with the math here. So that house, let's say, will rent for $1,000 per month. And so over the course of 12 months, you can reasonably expect that you'll receive $12,000 from the rental. It's a 12% rate of return. That's not too shabby. But instead, what if you leveraged that money? Now, instead you take $20,000 and you put a down payment on 5 different houses, and then you finance the other $400,000. Now you have 5 homes bringing in $1,000 each, $5,000 per month, or $60,000 per year. Now, we have to factor in interest because you're paying on the debt. So let's keep it pretty simple and say it's a 5% interest rate. It's a little higher than what mortgages are currently at. So even 5% on the $400,000 of debt is $20,000 per year in interest costs. And that will obviously go down over time as the loan is paid down, but we're keeping it simple here. So you're collecting $60,000, you're paying out $20,000, and that means you end up keeping $40,000. So in scenario number 1, you have $100,000 and it brings you $12,000 each year. In scenario number 2, you have $100,000 and it brings you $40,000 each year. It's over 3 times as much because you went into debt. Now, I'm fully aware that there's a lot more risk in scenario number 2, and we're not accounting for taxes, insurance, and a whole bunch of other factors. But all things considered, the difference is so vast that it still makes way more sense to leverage your money by going into debt. That's something the all debt is bad gurus are never going to tell you about. And it's largely because a lot of people can't really wrap their heads around it. But you can. And it's one way that you will rise above the crowd because you know the secret to leverage debt. Now, of course, you need to have that $100,000 to begin with. And to get there, you need to create another income stream. That's just the way that Know to Grow will teach you how. Think about how if you use these concepts that I teach you and you earn an extra $20,000 this year, that's $20,000 that can be the down payment on a rental property, which after interest in the loan brings you $8,000 per year. Now think if you did that for the next 10 years. Every year you earned an extra $20,000, you bought another property. Now you have an extra $80,000 a year coming in, plus all the equity that you've built up in those properties. head over to www.knowtogrow.com. You can sign up for free, and I'll show you exactly how to get started. By the way, guys, if you love it, please hit me like and just leave a simple comment or complex comment. I don't mind. Hit that subscribe button. That'd be totally rad.